Welcome back. So on the last video, I kind of walked you through everything I've done to the car and what the plans are and everything. On this video, I'm going to be talking about front end, what my plans are. I already talked about that a little bit, but I'm actually going to get into doing it. So the last video we watched, actually I just finished videoing like 30 seconds ago. Second video, working on the front end. So let's get to it. Let's bend some tubes. So I know I said bend tubes, but I forgot. I gotta kit it. So I got my buddies out. We're gonna make something happen. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm gonna try the Sawzall first. That's better. How much room we got here? There's nothing there. That one turned out perfect. This one is crooked. All right, so this is the second day. I already welded one side. Got to do the other one today. Yesterday got a little late, so got one side welded on. I'll show you that here in a minute. And then I still got to weld the other side. But today, got a package show up. I'm going to show you what it is. So I haven't seen it yet. I know it's freaking heavy. It is my alternator for the new relocation kit. Like I said, it is heavy. I couldn't believe how heavy it was. So I'm kind of concerned on that because it has to be small. How the heck do you open this thing? So it has to be kind of small. All right, I'm an idiot. I don't know how to open the box over there. All right. That was not the right way. That's how I did it though. Ooh. Oh, that looks good. Oh, look at that. That's pretty. It's heavy though. Whew. So that is a truck alternator. It's a 220 amp. The one that was recommended for this kit was actually 105 amp. With all the new electronics, you know, the Chromoly system and some of the other stuff, I wanted to make sure that the alternator I had was big enough to run everything I'm doing. You know, I got different pumps, you know, I got the Chromoly system, you know, I got, you know, the water pump in the back, the new fuel pumps, you know, I got all this other stuff, a lot of extra electronics. So I want to make sure it could do everything I ever wanted it to. So, well, let's go check out that bracket I welded on yesterday, and we'll get an idea, see if this fits. Get this out of the way. There she is. You probably can't see it, but that's the new plate. So those are just kind of snugged on there. I wanted to help make sure everything stayed flat and when it cooled and everything. So actually turned out pretty good. So when I'm done with this, you know, I do that one, you know, I'll paint all this and I'll repaint this stuff and because I painted all this, but I had actually had to weld something else shortly after and all the paint cooked back off. So When I finish the whole front end, you know, I'll repaint all that, I'll paint this stuff, and it'll look nice. So look at that killer weld job on those. It's iffy, to say the least, but it's not bad. All right, let's look at this thing. Ooh, first glance, it looks like it's gonna work. So the issue that I was having is, holy crap, figure out how you're gonna move out of the way, is this fuse box is in my way, to say the least. So I already told you in the last video I took it out of its box and kind of set it here. There's not a whole lot to it, but so I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with that. I might end up sticking it down in there or something and get it completely out of here so you don't even know it's here. But that's undecided so far. We'll figure that out. What else? Let's see. Ooh. Well, that's not good. Well, it hits. That's not good. Doesn't hit by much, that's for sure. But it does hit. Get this in there and hold it there. You know, it really sucks, because it's actually the right bolt pattern too. So it's the right one. Well, that sucks. There's a plug out too on the side. I think I can do something to make that work. I didn't want to have to do it, and I still don't want to have to do it. But I will do whatever I can to make this car as easy as possible to work on. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to go with the truck alternator, because the CTS-V Corvette alternators aren't necessarily hard to find, but they're not as easy to come by as like a truck alternator. So, because they're a different offset. So it's Corvette CTS-V are the closest to the front, to the face of the engine offset, and then it's like F-body GTO is the next out, and then it's truck. So. But with this setup, it sticks a truck alternator back far enough that it will run on the Corvette CTS-V stuff. What I'm thinking right now is I'm going to take all this stuff back off. And the only thing I can think to do, I need to check and see what that holds on. I don't remember. These are for the strut, so obviously I want to stay away from them, but it's fine. I need to see what this goes to. I may cut this corner off, and then you could flip it, weld it back on, and so then it's actually an indent instead of it coming out. So then you keep your rigidity, and it's just, you know, and then you could fit this. Because if I could fit this big alternator in there and never have to worry about it, you know, and I'll always be able to fit one in there, that would be great. So, what'd she go to? I can't tell, honestly. I don't know what that goes to. I will have to figure that out. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and finish that while it's kind of hot on my mind, and then I will come back to you. And just like that, the second one's done. Not terrible, not great, but not terrible. So that plate's on there, that plate's on there. Now I gotta stick the bumper back on, and then I will measure how far out I want this bar to come, and I'll get it bent up, tacked on, and I'll probably tack it on, and then I'll build my supports that come up from that bar up to the bumper bar, and then I'll tack them on really well, and then I'll take the whole assembly off and I'll weld it out here. So let's do that. Let's get the bender set up. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure from this plate that we just welded on to where I want it to go on the bumper, which won't be tucked all the way back in here because I want to be able to easily, it'll probably be right in front. I want to be able to easily come up to my other bar here. So let's see. Is 11.5 inches on that side and 11.5 inches on that side. So let's see, actually this way too. Centered. 21. 11.5, 21. All right, gutter all bolted down. So I'm gonna make that lower part out of 1-inch tubing. So I have a 1-inch die I just got. So we're gonna go ahead and swap that out. Brand new, haven't even taken it out yet. Let's go ahead and pull this stuff out. I couldn't believe how easy this stuff was to work with. I mean, it's literally, let's see. It's literally pull a couple pins and the whole thing comes out. And you're done. All right, so if you guys remember, I'm gonna make a mock-up here. So, nope, sorry. So from here to here is 21 inches. And from here to here was 11.5 inches. So in order to figure this up, I'm actually going to, because I haven't used the 1-inch stuff at all yet, I'm going to build a cheater. I'll show you how to do that. More or less, I'm gonna make a 90-degree that has hash marks on it each inch. All right, so there's the piece. It's about 12 inches. So all I'm gonna do, I'm going to lay my tape measure across here. And I'm going to mark every inch. Come on, being steady. So you got 1 inch, 2 inch, 1. All right, so all this does is it gives you an idea of how much each bend has in it, how much material each bend is. So I'm gonna bend a 90 because it's most likely the most I'm ever gonna do. And that will tell me exactly how much material it takes to make a 90-degree. All right, so now that that's done, you wanna set your preload. Pull this all the way over. Looks good. So pull it all the way over and set your 0. Come on, there we go. 0. Get my bar. And just start bending. So here she is. So as you can see, so I don't know if you could see it, there's a line right here, right where the bend started. So that's 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, and it ends right there, right past 5 inches. So on our drawing, we know that beginning of the bend, end of the bend is 5 inches. We know we need 11.5 here. Or no, sorry. So here's all my measurements, which will equal up to 42 inches. So I'm going to cut it at 45 inches. And I'm going to mark the center of it. I'm going to bend out. So we know that from the start of the bend to the center of here is 3 inches, because that's what the radius of the die is. So 11.5 minus 3 inches from center here to here, 8.5. Same over here. We know that there's 5 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each bend. And then, so 3 from start of the bend to center of here on both sides is 3 inches. So 6 minus 20, or 21 minus 6, 15. So that's from here to here. That's going to be the straight portion in the center. So all that equals up to 42. I'm going to cut 45. Let's get to it. All right, so we got the bar all cleaned up. So now, cut it at 45. Mark the center of that, which is 22.5. 22.5. That's the center. And then we will go out. Let's see. So we just want to go to the start of the bend, which would be, so 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5. So go out. 7.5 either way. Which is here. Yeah, 7.5. Do the same on this side. 7.5. Right. Should equal 15, right? Yep. So then from there, so it should take 5 inches, and then we should have enough left over. So let's bend it. All right, there she is. So I'm gonna be completely honest, I screwed that one up. So what I did is I started the bend on the wrong side of my line. So if you do that, then the bend is here instead of here. So that was obviously stupid. So frustrating, but I'll be able to use that piece for some of my other stuff. So it's not like that piece is trash. So but this one, I just finished it up. Seems to be flat, so that's good. It means I did everything right, I think. As long as these line up. Oh, it's perfect. I actually did my math right. That's a shock. All right. Now we just cut off the extra that we left on there. So what we do, remember we had it at 11.5. So what we'll do, set that flat on the ground. Now there's obviously a ton of ways you can do this, but actually, what I'm gonna do, this. So put that there, measure out 11.5, mark it, same over here. 11.5. Mark it. All right, and we'll cut it. There she is. So, got to clean up the edges, sand it down and everything, kind of get it ready, and see if she fits. Holy crap, it's like I know what I'm doing. That can't be right. Well, now I will take the bumper back off, center these up, make sure it's level, because I leveled the car when I put it up on jack stands. Leveled up, tacked up, and then, like I said, I'll probably put the bumper bar back on, and then I'll probably stick the bumper back on so I can make my braces. So it's a process, but we'll get there. That's tacked. It is the same as the other side, so let's go ahead and put a couple more tacks on it, and we'll call it good. And just like that, there it is. Bottom bar is done. Go ahead and put the top bar back in, get ready to put the bumper back on. I did have one mishap over here. I don't know if you could see it, but right there I had a blowout. So my understanding, now I'm no professional welder or anything, but I was kind of curious what happened, because I don't believe it was me, because everything else went fine until I got to the very end. So my understanding, what happens is when you weld something like this or a roll cage, when you seal off both ends of the tube, the gases, as they get hot, they try to expand, and then when you try to close off that final bit of that weld, all that pressure blows out your weld. So I think that's what happened there. It blew out right at the very end. So what you're supposed to do, and what you're supposed to do with the roll cage, is as you put tubes in, you're supposed to drill holes basically in your cage, or in this case, like here, I would have drilled a hole in this plate, and a hole in this plate, this plate, this plate, or just one, you know, that plate, and that'd be fine. That way the gas can actually escape out when you do the final weld. So I should have done that, and I will keep that in mind for the rest of the stuff I do, but we're ready to put the bumper back on, and we'll build the braces from here up and here up, and then after that it's done. So then it's mounting the radiator, and I'll probably go ahead and mount the crank pulley, and actually I'm probably going to wait on that. I'm going to get this sorted out. I'm going to get that figured out, what I need to do with that, see how big of an issue that actually is. So figure that out. So I'm going to finish this, then do to this, and then I'll probably go ahead and make sure all the drive system's done and ready to go, and then I'll mount the radiator. So moving along, we'll see. I'll do some measurements. I'll probably just go ahead and do this part, and not drag you along for that, and I'll just update you as I go. So I'll update you in a minute. All right, so this is where we're at. Got the bottom one on. Got this brace ran. So this actually, the lower grill is right on the inside of this. I was gonna just come up here to here and be simple, but by doing this, it actually hides that bar, and it's right on the outside of the lower grill. So it'll be nice. So I'll do the same on the other side. Probably do it tomorrow. It's about 9 o'clock here. So yeah, that's where we're at. There she is, all done. So did that one today. This one's done. So now the only thing I have to do is run a brace from here up to here. So get rid of, just help stiffen that up a little bit, because I am going to run hood pins. So I don't know if I'm going to end up, most likely I'm going to end up coming off of here for that. I'm not sure where or what I'm going to do with that yet, but that's the least of my concerns right now. So, because last year, heck, I ran without a hood all year almost. So that's the least of my concerns. So that's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the alternator. So what I have right now is I actually have the alternator sitting on the front of the bracket instead of in where it's supposed to be. So I can kind of get an idea where this lead's gonna have to go, and kind of just get a height idea so I can come in here and mark it. And it's just barely hitting. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it as far back as I can. And the only thing I haven't decided yet is if, like I said before, is if I was gonna try and flip it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that just because how it's shaped. I might be able to, I don't know yet, but I may just end up putting a flat plate in there. So, or maybe an angle piece, or I don't know yet, we'll see. But that's what I'm working on now. So I'll probably update you as I cut it. So we'll see how it goes. Update time. Update time. Got a little extreme. So, finished product. The alternator out of the way. So, that's what I ended up doing. Plated it, welded it, then ground it down, smoothed it so it'll look nice and smooth. You won't see the weld and everything. So the only thing that I didn't realize is, so this is the upper control arm bushing. It had a 90 grease fitting on it, but I took it off because it obviously hit right here. I'm not sure what to do about that yet. I cut an opening because I was kind of planning, I was like, maybe I'll just put a slant piece, I'll just weld on a slant piece here to cover it up or something. I figured I'd do something else, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Talking to my dad yesterday about it, I was showing him, talking to him about it. His idea, take a piece of tube, put it here. So what I'll do is I'll cut it here, I'll cut a section off, and that'll sit down right over top of that. And that way when you put the control arm back in, it slides up more or less in this. I may end up going to, the problem is all I have is 1 inch and 1 5/8. 1 5/8 would be a little much, I think. But anyway, and then I'd put a straight grease fitting on it, and that way I could stick the grease gun through here and I could still grease it. I might do that, I might not, I'm undecided. But what I'm thinking as of now is I'm gonna leave it until I decide what I'm doing. I don't want to just jump to any. I don't want to just jump to something and cut and weld. So I'm gonna plan a little bit and figure out what I want to do before I do that. But I mean, that's it. So that's actually it for this video. I did the front end and did the alternator. So got some big stuff done. Some bigger stuff coming. I'm not sure what I'm going to work on next. I'm not sure what exactly the next video will be. I'm at kind of a weird spot here with Christmas. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. So Christmas and New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. So with Christmas and New Year's coming up, got some family stuff obviously, and different stuff like that with holidays. So I'm probably not going to get to work on it a whole lot, and then the turbos won't even be done until the beginning of the year. So I'm not even going to have them for a little while either. And I'd really like to finish, now the alternator is done, but I'd like to get the crank pulley on, get a belt on it, and then I could figure out where I want to put my radiator, and I can mount the radiator and kind of get that stuff settled. But I don't want to jump to anything. I want to work my way slow, and I want to make sure, because I'm doing this from scratch for the most part. Since I cut everything off to do this front end, I'm doing everything from scratch. So where I put it is where it's going to go. So obviously you can cut brackets and move or whatever, but I'm trying to think the process through a little bit beforehand. So we'll see. I don't know. I may move to the seats. I need to mount the seats still. I need to make mounts for that. So I may end up doing that first. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated, and we'll see what the next video is. All right, stay tuned for more. See you later.